So shall we start with a prayer?
Can I say a Jain prayer, a mantra?
Yes.
Namo, yes. Namo Arhantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayaryanam, Namo Uvajjayanam, Namo Loe Savva Sahunam. If anybody is interested in knowing the meaning, I can explain it.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So Namo Arhantanam stands for I bow down before all the Arihantas in the universe, past, present, and future. Namo Siddhanam stands for I bow down before all the Siddhas, the Siddhatmas of present, past, and future. Namo Ayaryanam stands for I bow down before all the Acharyas of the universe, wherever they are in the universe, past, present, and future. Namo Uvajjayanam stands for I bow down to the Upadhyayas, that is the assistants of the Acharyas, past, present, and future, wherever they may be in the universe. Namo Loe Savva Sahunam is the most powerful shloka, the line, which stands for I bow down before all those sadhaks and sadhvikas, that means the monks, the male and female monks, it can be any gender, wherever they may be in the time and space, past, present, and future, and in whichever religion they belong to, as long as they are in search of moksha.
Interesting.
And the continuation of this is another 3 lines. Aiso pancha namukaro, savva pava panasano, mangalanancha savasing, padamam havai mangalam. These 5 namaskaras that we do will destroy all the karmas, the bad karmas, and lead you towards salvation, towards enlightenment, towards true knowledge on how to attain enlightenment and release you from bondage. Thank you, Guruji, for the opportunity. Gurubhyo Namah.
Hari Om. Thank you, Kishorji, for starting off the class with a wonderful information. I was just thinking about the various methods of prayers before I started this consultation, because outside, I just watched, I was just watching a little bit of a movie my family is watching now. And all I saw was some, the heroine, she is the main person, I think, in the movie, and she's trying to protect the house by, writing something on the wall and using holy water. And after that, I came back and, sat in front of the computer. I only saw that scene and then came. As I sat down, I thought about prayers are still the same for everyone. You just want to save yourself from fear and ignorance and all of that. Somehow the language seems to be the same. Okay. And then when I came here, you said, can I do it in our way? Okay, then fine. That is synchronicity.
Thank you, Guruji. In fact, this actually doesn't belong to any religion. It is a very universal mantra which can be used by anybody because it applies to all the divine souls, not just any particular community or religion.
See, when statements are made by the knowledgeable, the masters, it is not said keeping in mind that there is something called a religion as such. The religions are created later by what is called the community and the groups. So when Buddha is speaking, he's just saying, I want to tell you the way, that's all. So when Jesus is saying, he's just saying, I'm showing you the way. Everybody is just saying that, but after they leave, an organization starts, and in the larger sense, that becomes a religion. Otherwise, there's no such thing, It's not that when Sri Krishna is speaking, he's speaking something connected to a religion. He's just saying the same truth in a different way, or in a different situation. He's revealing something. So when you said, we'll thank all of them in the universe, because the Buddha said that Am I recording this? Okay. The Buddha said, when he was enlightened, when some of the beings, what they call astral beings, came down to fall on his feet, he said, thousands of Buddhas have come before me and thousands will come after me. The same statement you're also saying about the teachers who came, the teachers who will come, almost the same thing. In a large cycle, everything gets repeated. Okay, repetitive, continuously, everything is in cycles. Even our Earth, based on the precession of the equinox, those of you who know that, the pole star story, if all the epics had noted down the pole star positions and also noted down the major planetary transits that happened when somebody was born, then it could have been very easy to retrieve the date of birth of any ancient person also. In some cases, it has been done, I think. And I think somebody who did research on Lord Rama said something else about when he could have been born. All this is based on planetary positions. So planetary positions is, at least from our point of view, our solar system is a proof of time, the real time. In the beginning, somebody said Happy New Year. Now, what is Happy New Year? Again, it's just a physical date. It's not an astronomical phenomena. Okay. Astronomical phenomena is something like the sun comes back to 0 degrees Aries, something like that. These are real time. The other, whatever we keep as the English dates, all that is not real time, a real date. Okay. So we have to look into the universality of our, our world. And then at a particular level, you'll have to think about the whole universe itself. So always spend some time staring at the sky, the night sky, especially because it's very beautiful. It also relaxes your eyes for those of you who are completely glued to the computer screen all the time. They say if you look at distant objects, your eyes will improve. The power of your eyes will improve. So spend some time looking at stars. Where is Saturn? Where is Jupiter? Can we see it now? This connects you in a certain way to time, to something very serious. Oh, last time when Saturn was here, I was 30 years younger. Oh, that's a very nice way of looking at it. Last time the sun was here was my last birthday. Now it is again the next birthday, and so on. Of course, if you use sun's position, New Year, you will have the sun almost on the same place only. That won't change. Anyway, let's. So we had. What shall we do today? Jyotish Kasi, you want to say something?
No, I just joined. Actually, I just saw
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Okay. Yes. Today happens to be something special. Why?
8 and 8, Guruji.
8 and 8,
like
yeah.
this.
8 and 8, yes. Everybody is aware of what that is?
Maybe Lord Krishna number?
Huh? Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna.
Soumya, can you explain what is 8 and 8?
Pushya and 8.
Yeah, I mean, Guruji has set the session for 8 p.m. and today is 8th of Jan.
Pushya Nakshatra today.
And
8th Nakshatra.
yeah.
And the
Correct.
nakshatra is also Saturn. So much of Saturn. So we
Correct.
spoke universal concepts as we began the class. Unknowingly, I was some of you joined late, so I was just watching what they call a horror movie, some part of it. Then I saw the heroine actually spraying holy water all over the house to protect the family. So why is it not possible that God automatically does that? Why do we have to do all these things? Does not God know He has to protect us anyway?
The question is protect us from what?
No. I was just watching Nayantara spraying holy water. So what I'm asking is, He knows, right? God knows whether to protect us or not. Tough question, right? Why is it not automatic? That's the question. Okay. Why should we ask? And only then you get protected. Suppose you're going through this Marga Dasha and Antardasha, Parashara says you have to chant Mahamrityunjaya. Without that, God can also protect us, right?
God wants us to put effort, Guruji.
I think this was nicely said for Mahabharata Draupadi scenario. When that situation is happening, why Krishna is not appearing? So I read somewhere a similar thing. He was waiting for people to just remain, okay, Krishna is there to protect. So,
Okay. No, what I'm saying is the prayer required or He will do it automatically?
Prayer required, Guruji.
Why?
Is it
To see our
prayer
belief
is a form
system?
of repentance?
Huh?
Is it like prayer is a form of repentance of anything like if you
Prayer
have
is a
done-
form of repentance. If he does it, see, for example, in school, let's say you are the school management. You just want to give marks to everybody. Everybody gets 100 marks. Nice, right? Everybody gets 100 marks. You are the school, right? You are the authority. So just say 100 marks for everyone. What's wrong with that?
Means you are not assessing it correctly, Guruji.
Why?
Each student is different and everyone
See, you can
should not
say
assess
the children are poor things. They don't know anything. They're ignorant. Why punish them? Let's give them 100 marks, all of them. Everybody
No,
passes.
their soul is not young, Guruji.
Soul is
That has
not
been
young. No, make it simple. Just address to the school story. Don't bring in any philosophy. Everybody gets 100 marks. That's all. Whole world,
You
they have to
cannot
announce
balance it
everybody
out.
gets 100 marks.
You cannot balance it out like that.
Huh?
There should be a difference
Everyone-
between someone who has studied and who has not studied hard.
Unfair. That's very unfair. And karma is like the fairness.
Soumya, the
Teacher in between.
Soumya, you are echoing.
echoing 2-3 times, not once.
Okay. Let me put my mic.
Maybe you're trying to stress what you're saying. You know, it carries so much weightage, so it echoes. Yeah.
Everyone will not get same privilege, Guruji.
No,
Like,
I'm
whoever
saying, okay,
takes
they
more
won't
effort.
get. They won't get, but why don't we give them? All of them. Make all of them, everybody who writes the exam, IAS exam in India, everybody passes. Those who write medical exams.
Privileges are based off of like how much effort that you put.
But they say God is merciful, right? That is common in all the religion. Even if you see Islam, so much of praises to Lord, to God. You are this, you are that, you are generous, you are merciful, you are passionate, you are loving. The 100 names of Allah. Everything is the same. Very tough, right?
Can I give an analogy in chess, Guruji?
I don't know whether everybody follows chess, but okay.
But no, it is related to rewards and efforts. So a player who studies day and night gets the reward automatically, compared to a player who does not practice or just practices only once in a week. So that's the reason why not everybody is able to succeed in whichever direction they are going.
No, that is from their point of view. But let's say the tournament, whoever is conducting the tournament should give first prize to everybody. That's in their hands, right? They can decide.
Sir, we can take the same example of the school.
Some people are typing it out. Okay, I encourage people to type out the answers. Yes, please continue.
Yeah, if we take the same school example that you gave, I would equate God to be like the parents in that scenario. They will help you, support you. If you come home and cry that you're not able to study or do you want to study, they can help you.
Okay.
But your teachers on the school are more like karma. You got to go write your test. And the teacher will say, you got it right or wrong and give you marks accordingly. So God will not change karma. God is there to support. You can support and help and improve you. But karma is there. And if we are better prepared to face that karma, then we improve. If not, then
okay.
That's it.
Very nice answer, Ganesh. So if you don't bring in the theory of karma, it's impossible to answer such questions. By the brilliant minds, you cannot answer this question at all unless you bring in the concept of karma. Good. So with karma, we stop the argument, right? We have clarity. We understand why things are happening in a certain way. If you are seeing a ghost, then there's something connected. There's something that connects you with that. Otherwise, you will not see a ghost. Usually, seeing a ghost is an expression of a past life guilt. Okay. Now, in front of you, you are having a horoscope. I want all of you to spend some maybe solid 2 minutes and then type out what this person may be afraid of.
They said not to smile, no? Reason photo. Oh, is it? Yeah. This photographer is waste. Never like this.
Okay. Sorry, I had to mute 2 of you. Yeah. Take 2 minutes. And we'll go with the hand raise method. This is just the basic chart. Okay. So I think roughly the planetary positions of the Bhava chart also might remain the same because ascendant is close to the middle of the sign, 17 degrees. We are all different. All of us. Everybody's horoscope is different. We are carrying different baggage. Our bags are containing different things in a trip. I don't think it will be identical at all. The size of the suitcase is different. The color is different. What is inside is different. In this travel around the sun, so many years, so many millions and countless billions of miles we have traveled around the sun. And then we came back to one more Happy New Year. And if you put all the sum total of all the births that we have taken, it's mind-boggling, right? So what is this person's greatest fear? Only fear, that's it. And then we'll move over to the next horoscope. As soon as you get some hint, please type it out in the chat. Very important. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ganesh. Okay, gone back to, you can unmute and talk whenever you want. That makes my job simple.
Hi, sir. This person is fear of losing wealth, land.
Wealth. Okay. Okay. Then quickly move on to the next. Next person.
And next is like Putradosha, fifth lord in eighth, debilitated, and also from moon also fifth lord in sixth.
Okay.
Fear of losing children, sir.
Yeah.
Fear of losing
worried about children. Always worried about children. Even if he has children, he must be worried about them.
Can people try? Some more people can try more than this.
So fear of relationships or fear of getting married.
Fear of getting married. Okay. Suppose,
sir,
you ask me, I want to see this chart or that chart. I think I can help you out.
Sir, one more point can I add, sir? There is a seventh lord and sixth lord connection, and also sixth lord is almost is in the Rahu Ketu axis, like it's Venus and Rahu degree is close.
Okay, I think you're trying to say
seventh lord is in the Rahu Ketu axis.
Oh, Rahu Ketu, okay.
And
who's
also,
closer?
Venus is closer, which is sixth lord. I mean, I'm just trying to correlate sixth lord and seventh lord connection.
Okay, in the entire house, which house can we relate maximum to fear? Okay, now all of you start typing the answer in the chat. Of all the 12 houses, which house pertains to our fears?
Sixth house.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll ask others to type out the answer. Okay. We'll wait. Vel Murugan, third house of courage. Okay. Is not third house courage opposite the, the nature of the sixth house? If at all, we say sixth is the final answer.
So does it mean like opposite to third house is like ninth house, sir?
No, I didn't say that way opposite. I'm talking about courage versus fear. I was not talking about the opposite houses in the horoscope. Just saying what is opposite. So, for example, when the question is which house pertains maximum to fear, a student says third house. No, third house is house of courage. Right?
Sir, we usually link Rahu to the fear, sir.
Okay. Okay. One point is that you can say we will link Rahu always to our fears. Because
yes,
Rahu is snake. Snake is what? Fear.
In this case, Jupiter is also Jupiter, Venus, Rahu degree is very much close. And Jupiter is a Lagna Lord. So Lagna Lord is the person self. He himself is in the fear. He is linked. It is linked with Rahu. I'm just trying to connect that with the sixth house matter, because sixth house, maybe he's fear of getting accidents or anything, debt, disease, debt, all this. I'm just trying to correlate to the point, sir.
Okay.
Sir, in that case, like I would say it is a Lagna Lord. Based off of if Lagna Lord is in...
I mean, what is this? The question, is it about, you're saying for fear, which house shall we look into? Is that the answer? When you spoke about Lagna Lord.
Lagna Lord is in with the malefics, and if it is in like 12th house, definitely like it relates with fear, sir.
Also, Guruji, like the fourth house lord is in 11th house, which is also the Lagna lord. And that is fear of secret diseases, right? And it's also in conjunction with Rahu.
Okay.
So that was one combination that I thought of.
Okay, now let's forget the question and then try to find out what is peculiar about this horoscope. Peculiarity. Jyotish Kasi, fear is the lack of self-confidence. Oh, that may be the reason why Velmurugan said third house also we should look into. So when courage goes down, fear goes up. Okay.
That is the thing that I was about to say, sir.
Okay. But before looking into houses that kind of give additional clues, there's always a prime house for every matter. There's always the main primary house.
Guruji, third house, Mars is the owner. So he is debilitated in 8th house. So
which one?
Mars.
Okay. The Karaka for courage.
Yeah.
Okay. Dhairyam. Or strength. Okay. Debilitated in 8th house.
Yeah. Death is our only fear in life. So death is 8th house.
Oh, okay. So you're saying fear of death itself. I'm afraid of.
No,
okay.
that is only fear as a human being. Like that is a constant fear, right? We have in our life. So 8th.
Tell you how, let's discuss this. In this class, so many people are there. How many people are afraid of death?
I'm afraid of rebirths, Guruji.
Aromal, death actually is the least feared, like what Jyotish Kasi just now typed. Okay. It's actually the least feared because there's a joke. I mean, see, okay, well, the point is we live for days together and death happens only in a moment. And second thing is that most of the human beings living here are always thinking that they will live forever. You know the story from Mahabharata, right? That the Yakshini asking the questions to Pandavas. What is the question? The third question was, oh my God, I forgot the question. I know the answer. That's a beauty. You know the story where all the Pandavas die one by one. Which is the greatest wonder in this world? It was this the Pandavas did not answer. So they died one by one. But Yudhishthira was clever and he answered the question. He said, even though death is inevitable, human beings live as though there is no death. So actually people are not afraid of death. They're afraid of death maybe at the last moments when they're really, going to die. In those fleeting moments, there is fear of death. But for the rest of the time, no fear at all. If there was fear of death all the time, all of us would have been sannyas. That's not true. Right? Okay. But let's admit that which is the house of fear is definitely the 6th house. Why? It contains disease, deaths, and enemies. Are we afraid of anything else? When we wore the mask, we didn't want to catch a disease. I don't want to get into debts. I'm afraid of enemies. What if they come and hurt me? So 6th house is the true house of fear.
So Guruji, you know how you say that a malefic planet is already in more a bad mood. So Mars, natural malefic, is again debilitated. So which here it owns 12th house, bed and comforts. or even sharing for that matter. So she maybe fears sharing the comforts or problems with regards to spouse. Again, to stack up with what people said earlier, Venus Rahu is almost on the same degree, 22, 23 degrees. So I think here what the part we need to look into is Mars, which is already a malefic, which is again debilitated. So, and also the Lord of Fifths, maybe again like what they said regarding children. So could be both ways.
There is one observation regarding the degrees of Rahu, Venus, and Jupiter. So Rahu, Ketu, Venus, Jupiter being on the same, almost the same degrees, shows light.
Pretty close. Okay.
Yeah, very close. In fact, they're almost next to each other.
Yeah.
So the Lagna Lord, the fourth Lord,
Okay.
the sixth Lord, and the 11th Lord, the House of Desires, all are taking a big hit because of that. That is the first layer of impact. So basically, the native is scared, or the native's vitality, health, everything takes a beating. And it also affects the mind because the moon and sun are together in the 10th house, along with Mars occupying moon's house. So that seems to be a big problem as far as the psyche of the individual is concerned. Ketu, Rahu, big afflictors on Venus and Jupiter, who are the only Shubhagrahas, natural Shubhagrahas. So there's no support coming from the universe. That is my take. And basically the reason the fear is of either secret disease, as Soumyaji said, or health of the native. She must be thinking that there's something wrong with the body, or she is scared of getting into a relationship.
How did you know it is a she and not a he?
The name on the top is Tanya, right?
Oh.
So I assume that Mars being the Karaka for spouse being in the 8th. So there also there's a problem with the relationship issues. So I was able to deduce that. And 5th house being the house of innate intelligence, being I would say the word I would not like to use, but though I would like to put it in context, is Ketu, the big afflictor. Rahu is also another person who likes to expand things.
Okay, suggestion for this person. What are the suggestions you might give in a consultation?
So Guruji, are we allowed to delve into because the topic revolves around either children or bed comforts as in partner. So are we allowed to look into D9 or the
Okay. Yeah, if you ask me, I'll show you those charts.
We would also like to see D3, Guruji.
Okay, then I'll go to a common point where I can run through the... So we'll start with D3. This is D3 at the bottom.
And the Shashti Amsha.
Okay, surely, yes. First, let's finish with D3.
Lagna Lord is debilitated, D3.
You see, because that's why I said even before going to the question, 1 minute, worry stems from desires. That's a nice point, right? Jyotish, Kasi. So worry stems from desires. So desires and fear, they are somewhat, interrelated. So on the desire axis, there is so much of fear. So there's something very, something that stands out in this horoscope is what we should love our desires. Instead of that, there is so much fear on the desire axis itself. 511 axis is the desire axis. 5 is what? Games, love, mantra, maybe bhakti. Okay, so all of that connected to the 11th house. Suppose you're losing, or if you're participating in any game, to win, there's always fear of losing also. So it overlaps. Okay, so when you are having Rahu and Ketu on that axis, there's always fear. Okay, what is the source for whatever we are saying? Any authority? Pramanam? What would be the remedy for this person? From which book will you quote a remedy? Which book? The person is in fear. Okay. So somebody told
Worship
somebody
Murugan as Subramanya.
worship Subramanya. No, of course, these are all indirect referencing because in Parashari text we do not see Subramanya. Skanda we do not see, but in Jaimini Sutras we see the word Skanda appearing. So it must have existed then, but I don't know, for some reason it was not mentioned. But something more ancient than that. Any book can suggest a remedy for this person.
Praying Gurus, Guruji. And also,
They have to listen to the Gurus because there is a Guru Chandal Yoga. They have a problem in listening to someone.
Anybody has Bhrigu Sutram and with you, read out Rahu Ketu in 5th house.
No children, loss of children, children after Naga Pratishta, windy diseases, sinful, wrath of king, live in undesirable places.
Okay. Why Naga Pratishta? Why is this remedy given? By Sage Bhrigu. Sage Bhrigu is considered the foremost amongst astrologers. Devdutt Patnaik says astrology started with Sage Bhrigu. Anybody wants to substantiate why Naga Pratishta?
Just to get rid of the fear, Guruji.
To get rid of the fear, what is asked? Asking you to pray to fear itself, the snake.
Yeah.
A concept discussed very often by Jordan Peterson, the world's #1 clinical psychologist, who says worship the fear itself to get rid of the fear. And he pointed out that Indians were smart. They knew this idea all the time. That is why we have Kali worship. So worship fear itself. Batman, why did he choose bat as a symbol? Though it's fiction, all fictions carry a lot of truth in them, right? The content has a lot of truth. So the sum total of all the fears on earth is usually represented by snake, because I think in those days when we were more vulnerable, our houses weren't so pakka like how it is now, or maybe there were large number of snakes in the world, almost like in Brazil, right? Large number of snakes. There's always a chance of a snake bite. And even though a smaller percentage of snakes are poisonous, it is lethal, and you're always afraid whether the snake that bites you could be poisonous or not, and you don't know. So you always live in fear. So for some of you, you would have noticed that in Rahu Antardashas or Ketu Antardashas, you could have seen some snake dreams. Very often, time it happens that people say, whenever they go through a Rahu, I ask them, have you seen an unforgettable snake dream? And they'll say, oh my God, how did you know that? I still remember the same dream. I saw a long time back, but I'm able to remember everything about it. It scared me so much. So Naga Pratishta concept is that. There's so much more to Naga Pratishta, not just fear alone, something else. So this person is afraid of children. Some of you are afraid of ghosts, right? At least one or two of you. The same way you would run away as soon as the topic of ghost is started, this person will just run away as soon as you say child. The moment you say child, the person starts shivering. Have you seen anybody like that? You will never see. once in a long time. Because unless you have all these grahas, even the Putra Karaka, the natural Karaka for children, is very close to Rahu. You can see the exact degree, 22-22, 15-37 minutes. That's the reason why in Drekana, you see all of them huddled together. But there is an additional problem in Drekana that Saturn is also there. And where is it happening? In the house of courage. So the fear is showing up more in D3. Whoever asked for D3, hats off. Okay. Shall you, anybody wants any other divisional chart?
Can we look at Shashtiamsa just for a few seconds?
Yeah. Before that, Satish says, very true, Guruji, my Rahu, MD, AD, and I see snake sometimes. But my Rahu is in 8th house. We wanted to see Shashtiamsa. Yes. Okay, Shashtiamsa, you can always look at, can't be very sure because time of birth should be very accurate for at least Lagna. But you can look out for some other patterns in case you're looking out in Shashtiamsa. Do you find something interesting? At least chasing the clue, following the clue.
Fifth lord is in the 6th house.
Now, whenever we do research like this, instead of simplifying, saying fifth lord in the 6th, you can dramatize it by saying, suppose you are a movie director, you want to grab the attention. You have to say, the house of children is in the house of fear. That's all. Make it dramatic. Because you're only talking about fear. Very good.
And retrograde also, Guruji.
Retrograde is okay. It is a reconfirming. Something
More
from the
fear.
past. Something from the past life. Okay? Very
And
nice.
can we say that this fear cannot go away easily because it's retrograde?
Yeah, I think it will not go because I tried my best, but every time I tried, the person could just literally run away. You have to believe what I'm saying. It is like, I don't know what to say. It is like all the horror movies shown at one time. You know, that much fear the person has. So the point here is that the Lagna Lord is also involved in that affliction, which is I. But on top of it, the fifth Lord went to 8th. Why is it? Why is it that you're not asking any other divisional chart? By now, you should be asking for more divisional charts, right?
Saptamsa.
Saptamsa, okay. Yes, you have the Saptamsa in front of you.
Ascendant is afflicted.
Now, what is afflicted? Raj?
Ascendant.
Ascendant is afflicted. Okay. Ascendant Lord, Guru, Karaka for children, all afflicted by the same thing, right? Jupiter, because see, that is why we should always keep observe the Rashi chart fully and kind of give so much importance and weightage to it that Jupiter and Rahu are close to each other and they would keep sticking in most of the divisional charts. And we just have to find out where they're going. In this case, they're going in such a way that in D7, it became Lagna Lord. All the more bad because it became Lagna Lord with Rahu the fear. Right? So here it is totally different. Anything else about something else about this D7 chart?
The fifth lord is also afflicted
Yeah,
By the sixth lord.
sixth lord is in the fifth house.
The sixth lord of fear. No, that's what I'm saying. Whenever we are having a discussion, try to relate the words properly again and again, so that this will go into our minds. Let us say the lord of fear.
Yeah, the
is
lord of
sitting
fear
in
is
the
in
house
the
of children.
house of children.
Like that,
Yeah.
you'll have to say. You understand? Because this is how you should address to a lay person who doesn't know astrology. Only this language they will understand. Then you should say the lord of the fifth is again on the same axis of Rahu Ketu, the fearsome, the afraid. All horror movies are only Rahu based because complete pure Rahu stuff it is. All whenever you see skulls and all those, funny things. Sometimes you can see people are making a joke out of horror movies. That's really what we should do, because there's no need to be afraid of anything. Okay, here is a trick. Okay, now when you read a divisional chart, you can read it from Lagna, but there's another trick. When you know the fifth house in the Rashi chart is debilitated in the eighth, take the same graha and look out for that graha in D7 chart. Where is it?
12th.
12th house.
See, that planet has gone to 12. This idea, you can use it on any divisional chart. You're talking about, let's say, 7th lord for marriage, for somebody's marriage you're talking. That same graha, just look where it went in D9 chart. Just that, without referring to the Lagna of the divisional chart. Okay, but in this case, it became the fifth from the fifth, the 9th lord in the 12th. Once again, almost saying that everything is repeating again and again. Okay, any other divisional chart?
And also Saturn is afflicting the fifth house, Guruji, in D7. Another affliction.
Oh, because Saturn by third house aspect is looking at. Okay.
Yeah, it's piling up. It's piling up, Guruji.
Piling up, okay. D9, marriage.
In D7, there was another affliction, Guruji.
1 second.
The second lord in the 12th. So, house of Kutumba.
Normally, we don't go to that level in a divisional chart. Okay.
Okay. Good.
We will only go like the way I explained, the trying to connect just that what is relevant. That's it. And after that, leaving off the divisional chart. Do not try to read everything from the divisional chart. Okay.
What about Mars's affliction on the fifth lord?
Mars afflicting fifth lord, yes, definitely. We'll count that. Count that. Mars 8th house aspect looking, falling on moon. Good.
A lot of afflictions are piling up on in the Saptamsa itself.
Exactly. In D7, so much. So that D7 is also an extension of the fifth house anyway, right? So many things about fifth gets connected here. And so that's very strange, right? For children chart, number is 7, but 7 is actually normally marriage. So, but you see here that 7th house, children is connected to marriage. You need a marriage to produce children, or at least the union of two bodies, the sperm and the ovum to produce a child. So maybe that way the 7. But let's not question why the Mahārshis would have come up with ideas like it should be Saptamsa and how to cast the Saptamsa. All that, these are all divine things. We have no answers. Okay.
So you had also said before that you shouldn't look at more than the direct aspect. But I think there's a little bit, I presume, you can take from the third house and the...
Actually, better stick with the direct aspects as most strong. But I think modern astrologers, at least those who are on the top right now, they're using even the special aspects in divisional chart. But I'm not very much interested in those. But since it was quoted, I said, yes, fine. But the main thing here is the lord of the fifth in the main chart is already in the 8th in Nichasthana, in D7 it went to 12th. So that's a very important point. Okay, or the fear things all piled up on 1-7 axis. So if you look at even Jaimini Sutras, Saptamsa is used even for knowing the quality of marriage in connection with physical union. So there'll be fear. So how will this, what will be the attitude of this person in terms of marriage? Because obviously so much afraid of children, then you'll think what next after marriage, right? So we have an issue there. D9, anything? Anything comes up in D9?
Lagna Lord is afflicted in the 5th house.
Huh?
Lagna Lord is afflicted with the
Lagna
8th Lord.
So the 7th
No, see,
Jupiter again with Rahu.
let's admit that D9 is only for marriage, okay? Mainly for marriage. So in this context of marriage, can anybody say something about the marriage itself?
7th Lord in 8th house, sir.
With
No,
Rahu.
the Jupiter, affliction with Rahu and Ketu has now involved with the 7th house of marriage and procreation. And what are we talking about? Children. So it's a 7th house matter again, indirectly. So 7th Lord, this time it became 7th Lord. If you alter the time of birth slightly, none of these things could fit. The Saptamsa Lagna would change, and therefore the 7th Lord will become different. You see how important the time of birth is. These are all very specific things in astrology, Indian astrology, only known to Indian astrology. So now when you read a sun sign book, it will look like a joke. Oh my God, so much of text. 400 pages of text describing somebody's character based on you're a sun sign, Aries, you're a Taurian, you're a Gemini. In college, I'm a Gemini, you are this, so let's fall in love. All that would now look to you like a joke, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guruji, can I ask this 2 neuter planets together in the Navamsha,
Okay.
in the sign of Saturn, does it mean anything like why he's not able to procreate or doesn't want does it indicate anything or no?
Usually, I would give importance to it if it is on 1-7 axis, Soumya.
Okay.
Because that rule, I remember many times in my consultation, whenever it was impotency or problem with childbirth due to a low sperm count or something, this Saturn Mercury always was on 1-7, either in Navamsha Lagna or in Saptamsa Lagna.
Okay.
An idea given by Jaimini himself, Maharishi Jaimini himself. Okay. So anyway, this was really nice, I think. Most of you got straight into the answer. As soon as we started off the discussion, you went straight. But the only thing I was a little bit, I expected people should say Naga Pratishtha instantly when you see 2 levels of affliction by Ketu. Always remember this. This is what I'm going to tell you in the next 2 minutes is very important. Now, suppose you say Ketu in the 5th. Raise your hands, all of you who have Ketu in the 5th in the world. 1/12 of the world's population will raise their hands, right? Because Ketu has to be in 5th house for a 1/12 of the world's population. Okay, that's generalized statement. So are we going to say Naga Pratishtha to all of them? There won't be enough space if people start following it. Okay. So always I'll now tell you something very important. When you're talking about an affliction, it is just 50-50. But if you see one more on it, it is 100%. It is not 60%, 70%. It's not. It's always like that. But in this case, Mars, the dispositor, is debilitated, one reason. 2, it is in 8th, second reason. So it's now 200%. Because now it has become 3 levels. Okay, forget debilitation. If it is simply 5th Lord in 6, 8, and 12, prescribe Naga Pratishtha for everybody who you meet. Having Ketu in 5th, and then the Lord of 5th, 6th has gone to 6, 8, and 12. Most of the times, whenever I saw children, the children born is having, suffering this autism, parents always had, one of them, father, mother, always had 5th Lord in 6, 8, and 12, especially 5th Lord in 6th. I think I have said this many times in class. Okay. So, 5th house, malefic, Lord of 5th in 8th, in Nichasthana, then again and again you find more and more, like in this case, so much of evidence. If you don't tell Naga Pratishtha for this person, whom will you tell it? Okay.
Guruji, what exactly should be done for Naga Pratishtha?
It is an installation of a snake idol. I thought about it for a long time when I first read Sage Bhrigu's book. Why Naga Pratishtha, or what is to be done? Actually, they want us to install a snake idol. Now, what could this mean? Actually, when somebody passes away, we have this natural habit of building a statue for them. Have you seen that? Gandhi passes away, then immediately statues all over India comes up. Gandhi, Gandhi, Gandhi. Because something about that person which we missed. Maybe we feel guilty, maybe we killed Gandhi. We shot him, though he spoke so much about ahimsa. So there's some guilt in us. So we want to, glorify the greatness of this, or maybe alert you to a kind of learning. I'm going to learn from this. So there could be many meanings to this. But I think the primary thing is you will not kill what you worship. So most of the time in the past, we may have killed snakes. And snakes, they say, they have some kind of relationship between themselves. So if you kill one snake, the other snake is without a mate, a partner, male, female. And so this, and then after killing the snake, then we will also smash the eggs of the snake. Because we are told that if you kill a snake, the young ones of the snake will come after you. So to make sure that doesn't happen, people smash the eggs. This can mean more than that. Actually, killing one's own children also can be part of this. Okay, or killing, but usually that happens in abortions. But it's very difficult for people to understand that in an abortion, we are murderers. We can't think that we are committing a murder. Whereas a full-grown adult, if you kill, the world will, be offended. Everybody will get offended. But abortion, oh, so what? No issues. That's because the child is inside. We don't see the child hiding, not visible. But Rahu and Ketu is poison. So abortions are usually done by giving poison to the child inside the stomach. Cleverly, consuming poison and then killing the child. So all this is a sum total of the snake idea. So installation of a snake idol to get rid of the dosha. Now,
sir, I remember once we discussed, I think a few months ago, immediately when I saw the Ketu in 5th, I was I thought about the Naga Pratishtha, but I remember we discussed, in one of the classroom session, you said more of a Naga Pratishtha is must when Rahu is in the 5th.
No, Ketu is more, Ketu hurts the 5th house more than Rahu.
So you mean to say then in case of both Rahu or Ketu, then
it doesn't matter because Sage Bhrigu says both. But I'll tell you one thing about Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu hurts more 5th house than Ketu hurts more than Rahu, both 5th and 7th. Both of them, see, Ketu is called abortive planet. Nickname for Ketu is abortive, against marriage. Ketu is sannyas graha. Right? Remember this by saying that Lord Buddha, before he went away, Prince Siddharth looked at his child and then walked away. Okay. So, fifth house, Sannyas, Ketu. Ketu hurts more than Rahu.
And Guruji, what is Naga Pratima then? Because that is also written in Bhrigu Sutram for, I think, Rahu, in fact. So what
No,
is
the
the
same thing. It is
difference
only
between
Naga Pratishtya Putra Prapti. That is translation. Person wrote it as Pratima, but if you read the Sanskrit portion on the top, it will be Naga Pratishtya Putra Prapti.
Okay. Okay.
Pratima is idol only.
Idol, same thing.
Yeah.
So Guruji, you just mentioned that the Ketu in the fifth house is Naga Pratishtha and the Sannyasi, right?
No. I'm saying why Ketu hurts the fifth house more than Rahu is because Ketu is always against the marriage things. And since children is a marriage matter, Ketu hurts the fifth and the seventh more than Rahu hurts fifth and seventh.
Okay.
Got it. In this case, Guru, the Karaga for children, is also got involved in the affliction, right? Degree-wise conjunction. Degree-wise conjunction, don't treat it lightly. 360 degrees in the sky, only 9 planets. What is the possibility of 2 people sticking to the same degree? You will see it very rare. And that rare combination is happening over the fifth house. Generally, the fifth house itself is intelligence. So fear has got lots to do with the mindset only. That is when fifth house is afflicted, the person will be generally, afraid. Like fifth lord in 6, 8, and 12. And some of them get into drinking and drugs and all of this only because they're afraid. They're afraid of something. So fifth is, when you have a nice fifth house, you're very strong in the mind. You're very balanced and you know how to, like how you see the winners are very calm and quiet and yet they achieve a lot. They don't. So Naga Pratishtha is I think maybe 2 feet average, tall. You'll see some snake like a DNA type. So whenever I see DNA, I always think about Rahu and Ketu. That's why Rahu and Ketu always connects to genetic disorders. Remember in one of our classes, we did some study on autism or something, and we noticed that the birth beginning itself it was Ketu Antardasha, Rahu Antardasha. So the snake can also mean something like a DNA. So we do not know what the person did in the past life, but based on current life behavior, we can say that this soul must have killed children only. Okay. So maybe something to do with that. Depends on whatever is your current fear, you can easily guess. Some people are only afraid of snakes, from which we can easily guess they must have killed snakes only. But so another way to verify this is you can always ask the person, can you carry a child in your arms? I once heard a man, if I see them itself, I want to step 5 feet away. Can you imagine being afraid of a child? I'm now 45. I've never taken a child in my arms. Statements. The entire world of mammals, they love children. So much that in a YouTube video, I'm seeing a just born monkey being fed by a tigress. A cow feeding a just born leopard. YouTube. The whole world wants to take care of children. Human beings are the only one who can kill children. That's why this Putra Dasha. Okay. So whatever you will see as ghost is only your fear. In this class, anybody can honestly say, I'm not afraid of ghost. Anyone?
Quite scared, Guruji.
Otherwise, we need to study their astrology, Guruji.
I have
Whatever you,
extreme fear of
huh?
guns, Guruji. I have
Guns.
extreme fear of guns. Yeah. I think I've done something wrong in the past.
No. When you have fear, most probably you must have been, you lost your life last time being hit by a bullet or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Only then you will be afraid. So all our fears are very different. Fear of the ghost is only when you are guilty. Okay. Fear of human beings is when you are guilty. So you can see, watch the movies and learn a lot. What is one afraid of? Is what they've heard. That thing comes back. Something of that will come back. So I was fascinated by this Kamal Haasan movie, Tenali. I was just thinking, if such a character existed, how the horoscope would have been. He's afraid of everything. So 9:13. Shall we stop with this one? You want to go with one more?
Two more, Guruji.
One more, Guruji.
Definitely more, Guruji.
One should be very interesting. The answer is there on the top. Whose horoscope this is?
Many may not know it, Guruji.
Is there anybody, you can raise your hand if you don't know Bobby Fischer? Oh, see? I guess Neeraj alone doesn't know. Okay. Sridevi, no. Bobby Fischer sounds like a Hindi movie, Bobby. What is his real name, Kishorji? The Bobby is a nickname, right?
Robert James Fisher.
Robert James Fisher, Guruji.
Yeah, Robert James Fisher. Okay. Kishorji, you want to introduce the person in just a few words, the greatness about this person?
So Bobby Fischer is a single-handed one-man revolution in the US, a phenomenon. Of course, he's no more now. And he is the one who revolutionized the entire world of chess. Before Bobby Fischer, the grandmasters were not paid lucrative amounts. And it was after Bobby Fischer that chess came into mainstream.
It became $1 million. It became $1 million sport only after this guy. The point is that America, he's the first guy from America, USA. And so USA celebrated him because he took on the might of Russia, because that time it was only between US and Russia. So, as he said, the one-man army. So, Fischer goes to Russia, wins the cup, becomes the world champion and comes back. Okay.
The name of his book itself is Fischer Goes to War, I think.
Okay. Interesting. Now, the beauty of astrology is that when you take up a horoscope for study, only from a particular point of view, if you subject it to other angles, even that will also be answered in the same chart. It's not like it will only answer certain things, but it will answer everything about a person. So, at least to begin with, we must say something about sports, right? Of entertainment. Whatever comes to your mind. Okay, for those of you who do not know, chess is one of the, you can say something that stands out amongst games. That there was a time when the power of a computer will even be tested by a chess software, or chess was used as like a benchmark because of the million combinations it has to run through to find out the best move. Okay, so this is something like it has attracted millions of people across the world, and many of them are practicing it every day. Highly addictive game because it is war without war. Because you have to, something is there in you which always wants to fight. There's always this fighting quality amongst animals, and since we are animals, we love to fight. But this is a very nice way, intellectual fight, a game of strategy. The best thing about this is, like our astrology chart of 12 signs, it has got 64 squares. And there are some, like planets, we have some pieces. There's a king, there's a queen, and so on. The game itself went through some, revolution. Some rules were changed. For example, when it went to England, they made the queen powerful in the game of chess. Before that, the queen was not so powerful. And then the king has a cross on top, which is a Christian image, and so on. But despite all that, chess has attracted people all over the world, but they say it started from India. Okay. So Bobby Fischer. Now, the advantage is that maybe all of you may not know Bobby Fischer's everything about Bobby Fischer, but we know now that he's a all-time great. Of course, now there is one more guy who people are saying is better than him. His name is Magnus Carlsen. But there is so much of drama to Bobby Fischer's life. Okay. The background is given by Kishore because he's a chess coach, a chess master. The thing about this game is you calculate something, and then you have to also calculate what the other person might be thinking about. What is his plan? Will he see this? Will I be able to trap, will I be able to make use of my plan? Will the plan be thwarted by the other person, and so on? So there are games where you almost lost the game, and then with some brilliant moves, you recovered and then you won. So even that is possible. Very exciting these days. But as Kishorji mentioned, that Bobby Fischer made it a big time sport rather than it was like the first world champions, I think they were in poverty, right, Kishore?
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah, they lived in poverty. And so it was like a waste of time, actually. There are people who commented that, I think Bernard Shaw said that, I think, wasting time. You should use your intelligence somewhere else instead of this. But it's a very nice game. You can play indoor game. In terms of bad weather, you can always play it at home. Anyway, that's okay. What are the combinations you see something for intelligence? They tested him on IQ and he had an abnormal IQ score, a very high score, I think. Usually IQ is against 200, right? There is a standard point, I think. I think he came very close to 190. So a very high IQ. Anything that comes to your mind by looking at this chart?
A lot of things are getting validated in the chart, Guruji. So I'll stay away from the discussion because I know his life.
Correct.
Yeah, I know about it. So in case if there's anything that's missed at the end, I will chip in.
Yes. Normally, like how will you read a sports person's chart? Somebody in the games.
Looking into fifth house, sir.
Huh? Fifth house. Okay, we'll start with fifth house then. Okay. Then somebody type it out. Fifth house is the house of games. Or in this case, it is more than that because it is fifth house is typically intelligence also, right? The other house of sport is actually the third house because you need quick hands and legs, which is limbs. And then you need courage and guts and energy, which is all third house, courage. So in any game, even though you may have possess a lot of skill, you can only win when you have guts. Otherwise, you start shivering. Okay. And once you start shivering, then you can't win. Those of you who have been to some games, you know that. For some people, the adrenaline will shoot up like anything. BP will go up. Okay. Adrenaline burst, we call it. So much of adrenaline, it's actually Mars based. Okay. So Mars and sports are all, I think, mostly inseparable. Okay. So this is the background. Very good. Pavani starts with a very nice way. RYK, Raja Yoga Karaka. For this Lagna, the special planet, the guardian angel planet, is none other than Mars.
Mars is in Capricorn, sir.
Exalted. So
Exalted.
I'm reading from chat. You can also open the chat in case. Pavani has typed it out saying RYK, March, Ruchaka Yoga in 7th house. Finished. Straight away you got the answer. But okay, now I'm just looking at something spectacular about this Ruchaka Yoga. I'm waiting for that answer. Though people, people did spot.
Same degree.
Huh?
Exalted in 7th house.
Wait. I heard it. I heard the answer somewhere.
Same degree.
Gautam Sayaju, the youngest participant in our class, says same degree. How can you miss that? I told you, 360 degrees in the sky. Planets can be anywhere, but think about same degree. Oh, that's something very nice. So a Ruchaka Yoga formed from the same degree. 100% Baba Madhya. That shows, you know what happens in Russia. Kishorji, how long Russia was holding the top position? Never gave away the world championship to anybody else in the world.
Very long, Guruji.
Very long reign, they had a complete control. And they always said, we are the most intelligent people in this world, Russians. That is the actual point. This game, if you win, you can tell the other person, I'm more intelligent than you. Okay, something about intelligence, your mind. Okay, so this Mars is very much evident, at least from Bobby Fischer's point of view. You take on an army, because when you go to a tournament, you'll be surrounded by only Russians. And you'll be the lone odd man out there. So it was little, intimidating. Okay, now it is better we slowly get into a little bit of Jaimini Sutras also here. Mars is called the GK planet. What is GK?
Gatni Karaka.
Jnati.
Jnati.
Okay. Jnati Karaka. Okay. GK.
Sixth house Karaka.
Exactly. Sixth house Karaka. Now, when I say sixth house, what is it about?
Competition.
Fight. Competition, enemies.
Conflicts.
You have to watch chess players. They won't even shake their hands properly with the opponent. They hate the other person so much. If you show me somebody giving a warm handshake, I'll say he's not a chess player. They won't look at the other person's eyes. They won't look at the other person. They hate them so much. Okay, because it is about the mind. Physically, you hit me, I'm not feeling insulted. But when I lose in a mind game, I'll feel so inferior. I'll feel like a worm. So they're so scared about the other person. So and when COVID came, they found it very nice because they're supposed not to, shake hands. So it became very convenient. So Jnati Karaka. GK is very important for combative games like boxing, karate, chess. Okay. I mean, almost most of the games are, I think, GK based only. But sometimes you need a quick hand also. The way the hand moves fast, third house also. But chess is not like that. Now slowly chess is also becoming like that. You've got to be very quick with your hands. Okay, one great point we got, and you think that's enough to say why he did so well?
Sir, one more point, sir.
Yes.
Mars is 10 houses away from Moon, and it is exalted.
Wow, very nice. Look at it from the Moon as well. From the Moon, Mars is exalted again in a Kendra. So this Mars is very special. Not from Lagna, not from Moon, not just from Lagna, but also from the Moon, simultaneously giving a Panchama Purusha Yoga, Ruchaka Yoga. Ruchaka Yoga is for war, and this game is war. Done? Anything else? Right in front of you, I'm having the D10 chart.
Mars is in own house, sir.
The same Mars is in own house in a Kendra, in the opposite. Very good.
In the same 1-7 axis.
1-7 axis. A lot of money earned, but I think he also suffered from tax evasion problems and all that, right? So,
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah, so he had some bad things also, because somebody now typed out Venus in 9th exalted, a Lakshmi Yoga. Whenever Venus in 9th gets exalted. But it's on the cat on the wall type. If you add 7 plus 15, 22, 22, 7. Venus is at the edge of the 9th house, but doesn't matter, even if it goes to 10th house. Still, the Lakshmi Yoga is valid, I think. Okay, or you may say it is 4th Lord in the 4th Lord in exaltation, or even 11th Lord in exaltation. But I wanted to say something about dispositor. Whenever you are reading something special about any planet, look out for who gave the house to that planet. So go back to Mars and ask who is Mars. Who gave house to Mars? So who's dispositor for Mars?
Saturn, sir.
Saturn is in which house?
11th house.
Gain. So Mars is now overqualified, right? Too many nice things.
Can I say something about the family, Guruji, and the mother?
Yeah.
So in D1, we have Rahu Ketu affliction in the 2-8 axis. So he was not having a proper family. In fact, he had only the support of his mother initially. And if you look at D10, you see that even that support also gets reduced. So there was actually a conflict between his mother and himself. That was point number 1. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that he was a very hardworking grandmaster. By looking at Saturn's placement in D10 as well as in the D1, we see that the Saturn element came out predominantly because it was Vargotham in D10 also. Saturn is like hard work. So we have not seen a grandmaster before him who was working so hard. And then the later grandmasters took the experience of Bobby Fischer and they also started practicing very hard.
Yeah.
Because one thing about Fischer was that he used to read a lot about his opponents. He used to buy books in Russia, from Russia, and he learned the Russian language to defeat the Russians.
Very good.
So that is the Saturn element that we can see here. And the family part, the affliction of the 2nd house of Kutumba is also, once again, we see Ketu and Rahu. And we also see the 2nd Lord being afflicted in the D1 chart with Rahu Ketu, the sun being afflicted.
So the nice side of Mars, the exaltation happens in a Saturn's place. Why? In order to be a great warrior, you need to be so industrious. You must be so active. Okay, so that is another way of saying that Mars gets exalted in Kala Purusha's 10th house. which actually belongs to Saturn, the Karma Karaka. So he was obsessed continuously with the same game. He could go into a room, close the door, never meet people, right? Isolated. Yeah, typical Saturn stuff, isolation. So, and then practice hour after hour, looking at like what Kishorji mentioned, what is the thing that and he never had opponents, he never practiced. He always used to sit on the other side, make the move, and then come back to this side and then make the move. So he was looking at it from both points. So he became so strong in the game that finally he won the World Cup. Okay. Now, anything else comes to your mind if you see this chart?
Also, he never made friends, Guruji. He didn't have any permanent friends.
Okay. Very difficult to explain, right? Why he didn't have friends. Do you think he had a kind of what do you think would have been the final reason for death? Without going, using Google, can you find out what might have been?
Is this the short lifespan because of like Rahu Ketu in 2-8 axis, Guruji?
Rahu Ketu in 2-8 axis. Kishorji should say whether it was a short life or long life.
He was born in Ketu Jupiter. He passed away in Jupiter.
He passed away in Jupiter.
Yeah, Jupiter has low dignity.
I see.
Twelfth Lord not in Kendra.
So he died in Jupiter. His age is only 63. Rahu Ketu, the threat is usually 60, right? According to Sage Brughu. But he crossed 3 years.
Yeah, Jupiter has low strength in Vimshapakabala.
Oh.
No, it's a Lord of 64th Navamsha from Ascendant. And also he's placed in the 22nd Rakena.
Oh, how did he get so much of details?
You can see in this D9 and D3 actually.
Oh.
Yes, yes, it
D9
is.
Jupiter is 64th Navamsha, correct?
And is placed in the 22nd Rakena.
Oh.
Yeah, 8th house
It is
in
placed
D3.
in 22nd Rakana as well. That's a very nice observation. Fantastic. But in the Bhava chart, is Guru edging into the first house border, right? 12-1 border.
Yeah, D9, it's with Jupiter is in 8th house with Rahu.
Okay. There's another thing about when you go, as you live longer, once you cross 60 and so on, you have to read Maraka slightly different from how we normally read it for younger people. Okay, so if you go through the Maraka chapter in BPHS, you will be told that there are so many houses to be referred. It will become 6th house also will participate, 12th house will participate, 8th will participate, and so on. So sometimes you see the role of Jupiter as the 6th lord also will try to emerge of Roga. Okay, but what disease without using Google? What disease? Wild guess.
Cancer.
Huh? Cancer. Gautam guessed as cancer. Rahu Ketu. What is it based on Rahu Ketu?
When the last thing you said was about Jupiter, so
Well, what you're saying is maybe Guru, death might have happened, but the cause could have started in Rahu.
Possibly your Rajnikant case, Dhilip ji.
Rajini had Rahu Ketu in 2-8 axis. I mean, sorry. Okay, has. I have close to about, I think, 40 clients horoscope with Rahu and Ketu on 2-8, all of them kidney problems.
Could that be the Rahu in the second addiction to liquor?
I don't know whether it is caused by liquor, but see, sometimes diseases can come even without connection to some type of habits, lifestyle. It need not be always this.
What is the biggest strength in the chart, Guruji? Because this is not an ordinary chart. This is one, I would say, in a million or a billion, I would say. It's such a powerful chart because not everybody can, of course, see, to learn chess is difficult. To become a master is difficult. To become a grandmaster is very difficult. To become a super grandmaster is difficult. And then to become a world champion is again difficult. And then to, create such a big revolution and a name, a lasting impact, that is supreme. So what is that one thing, or what are the 2-3 things in the chart that are so different from the other charts? Just because Ruchak Yoga is there,
Mars.
Just because Moon is exalted, Mars is exalted. I mean, Moon is in the 10th, the Lagna Lord in the 10th, or Saturn in the 11th, or Venus is exalted, 4th Lord and 11th Lord. Or is it because of, I can't lay my fingers on anything else. Well, what is it, that one thing? Is it because of the proximity of the degrees between Mars, Moon, and the ascendant degrees?
I think
these are all rare occurrences.
That is definitely the main contributor, but I think it is mostly because the dispositor of the Yogakaraka also went to 11th house. So from Lagna, you are having a Saturn in the 11th. So Saturn in the 11th is actually very good. Okay, but if you look at the AL, is the AL correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, Dhilip ji looks like he was a child prodigy. He was probably thinking about chess even in the womb. He was born in Ketu Dasha.
Okay.
Seems to me like that. And then gets into the exalted Dasha of Venus.
Okay. We can through.
At age 6 is when people noticed him as a big chess star.
At what age?
6.
Oh, so he had the advantage of Venus Mahadasha, the exalted. Venus is also Amatya Karaka, right? Amatya Karaka is like purpose of life. It activates the 2nd and 10th house in a horoscope. It's equivalent to the Parashari 2 and 10. So that has become exalted, and he had a good start. From the age of 2.3, for 20 years, he had the foundation, I think. The foundation of learning, the 4th Lord in the exaltation. Not typical school education. But though he had problems with his mother, he was living with his mother, right, Kishore?
Yes, Guruji, till the last few years of his life. I mean, almost.
Yeah. So it was like, I think the reason was the father left, and therefore the mother had to take care of him. So that problem was there. But generally, he himself didn't like, I think, the concept of women. He never married, or did he marry?
No, he didn't marry, Guruji.
Oh.
Of course, he had an affair in the later part of his life, but that was more for convenience purpose.
He didn't marry because the 12th house of sharing, Mercury, is in the 8th house, which is a common thing for no marriage, unmarried. Right? Whenever the 12th Lord is in 8th house, no marriage.
Also, can we say that he was proud because of that? The third Lord in the 8th? Dominating speech sort of a thing.
No, he was very blunt and very kind of unyielding and dominating, rude, and all of that because of Rahu being in second.
Okay.
Whenever Rahu is in the second, you develop those qualities. Your tongue becomes like a poison, like a snake. So he tried to control the Russians. He said, I want it like this and that. The first time they listened, but the second time they said no, right? But Rahu Ketu on 2-8 axis also did give him disturbances. He had his own trouble. From AL, anything comes up from AL? So when you read AL or UL, the first most important thing is that you have to ask, who is the Lord of these places? Okay. And where has it gone? The AL Lord becomes Venus in this case, right? The Lord of AL is Venus, and Venus is Amatya Karaka. We'll do one thing. We'll also look into anything coming up in Shadbala.
D60 is very interesting, Guruji.
D60?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you went there, is it? Okay.
No, I mean, I just looked at the placement of Mars and Moon.
Oh. Okay. My God. The Lord of the 5th is in the 10th in D60. Lord of sports and intelligence is sitting in 10th house. And Sun is exalted. 11th Lord exalted. The same Mars Ruchak Yoga is back in Swakshetra, again giving a Ruchak Yoga in D60. They're all too much, I think. Even D10, Saturn has become the Yoga Karaka in Lagna.
And Mars is
again in Ruchak Yoga. So the Ruchak Yoga is somewhat very strong.
There's also a problem with Mercury, Guruji. What does it? How does it show up in his life actually? Or will it show in terms of his buddhi, the thinking skills, or will it be for speech, or will it be the third lord aspect, the third lord significations?
See, as we go through more chess grandmasters, super grandmasters charts, we sometimes see Mercury is in 6, 8, and 12. I think maybe there is some truth about this, that you're using intelligence in somewhat, what shall I say? I don't know.
Research, I think. Buddhadhyaya Yoga in 8th house.
Sir, I want to add one point.
Very research oriented.
I think we already discussed, but I don't know for sure, so I want to add one point. Venus forms Malavya Yoga in the 10th house, sir. Is it right? This one.
From?
Venus forms Malavya Yoga in the 10th house, sir.
Oh, you're saying in the Baba chart?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So he has 2 yogas. He has 2 Panchamahaprusha yogas, not only one.
Well, that's also a point to consider, because
also this 4th and 9th connection, Guruji.
So regarding Mercury, someone brought up Mercury. Mercury in 8th, according to Bhrigu Sutram, that is the one exception planet where being in 8th, Graha being in 8th gives very good results.
Yeah, long life. And
long life, exceptional by the age of 25, receive an honor or award and so on. I'm sure he probably got some like fame and reputation.
Correct.
So a lot of goodness with Mercury and being in 8.
Yes.
Too much of it.
many of the poets have Mercury in the 8th. Okay. Poets, famous songwriters. I think it's something to do with a different kind of using intelligence. If you look at it from constructive point of view, intelligence can be used in a better way than playing a game. Maybe it's something to do with that.
So can we safely assume that Mercury did not play that big a role compared to Mars, Moon, and Venus and Saturn?
Yeah, we can. I'm just searching for, where is the Shadbala? I don't know where I put it.
It's at the corner, Guruji.
Yeah.
Bottom right.
Yeah.
Mercury in the 8th also, I have observed that it gives people a contrarian thinking. You know, Mercury being, actually it is considered the graha of logic, right? When it is in 8th house, they think in a very contrary way than most people think.
Unconventional, you're saying.
Unconventional.
They do
right.
different. Okay.
Yes, you can say that he was a path breaker, right? And he went deep into chess, which no grandmaster had gone into before.
Correct. So in my notes in say Bhrigu Sutram, Buddha in the 8th, I've written in the top line, strange, normally planet in the 8th house gives negative results, but not so for Buddha. I think that's what somebody quoted right now, I think. Because one, it gives good span of life, many children, but that didn't happen. Somebody quoted this same thing, 25th year, receive honor, widespread name and fame and reputation and so on. Brihat Jataka says the person will be widely known for his qualities. Almost most of them are saying something nice only. Even Sarah.
So sir, like that, does it apply for Gemini ascendants? Like if first lord in 8th house?
Then you'll have to adjust it, right? Because then it will become Lagna Lord in the 8th. See, when you bring in another parameter, you have to be very careful, but at least you can say, we can get a starting point for discussing. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Phaladipika hints at becoming a judge or magistrate, etc. It's almost like a judgment type only, this game. You punish people.
Also, 9th Lord in the 12th, can we say that he gained victory from foreign lands? He went to foreign lands and conquered.
Yes, Bhagyam through foreign.
Yes, Guruji. And
Bhagyam
that
and foreign getting connected, yes.
Retrograde Jupiter. So any planet, you told this, Guruji, any planet that's retrograde, we must not ignore it because it is trying to say something. So this is another way of looking at his name and fame and recognition from other countries other than US.
See, ignoring the degrees of AL, there's no point writing the degrees and then studying AL or UL. Simply taking it as a whole sign, forget UL because that's not the context. AL, the 5th house, 11th house is again activated. You can see the Lord of the 5th, the 5th house axis is having Rahu and Ketu and the Sun. So you have the 11th Lord in the 5th, And then again, Rahu and Ketu in 511 axis. Usually Rahu and Ketu on 511 axis promotes the field of entertainment and sports.
In Kalpurusha, Guruji?
No, from Yale. Arudha Lagna. You look at the horoscopes of sports people, you will find many times Rahu Ketu on 511 axis. Because this is something like a Maya, right? So 511, so Rahu and Ketu is like the Maya grahas. Like it's not real, right? The games are not real. It's not really happening. It's a kind of an artificial something, all made up. When you say Pakistan in India, cricket match, is it like war? But people take it like war. It's just a game. So the Lord of 11th and 5th, 11th Lord in the 5th in AL, 1, and then Rahu in the 11th from AL, separately. So Mars, the warrior, stands so tall in Shadbala. Oh my God. In Vimshapaka, it is so tall. Okay, then in that case,
the mood of Mars is happy, Guruji.
Yeah, so, very, very, very much. So we'll go to a chart where it is like all the charts at one time. Is this the one?
Yes, Guruji.
Just look out for Mars in all these places. Mars in D1 is Swakshetra. Mars in Saptamsa is in Friend's place. In Navamsha, Mars is in Benefic place. Dashamsa, Mars is in own house. Dwadasamsa, own house. Only in 1 or 2 charts it's bad, like in Trimshamsa.
Mars is either in the Lagna or aspecting the Lagna.
Most of the time, huh? Yeah.
Yes, Guruji.
That's also strange, right?
Special aspect or direct aspect, but it is there. There's a connection with the Lagna and Mars.
Correct. That's really strange because in the basic chart, they are not together, right? They are not together. So
no,
somehow,
okay.
in the D1, it is not together, but somehow they managed to get, that's because of the degree, the same degrees. That is the connection here. If you ask me why this Mars was so strong.
No, the question is why this chart was so strong, why the person was so famous. So that is the connection.
For that answer, we got that this is a different kind of Mars. Is there anything?
Mars is either in the Lagna or aspecting the Lagna, Guruji.
In Drekana, it held to the same spot. Same Lagna, same Mars. Of guts, it never went away from there. This page gives us a lot of clue about why his life is extraordinary. Right?
Except in D27, where Mars is not looking at the Lagna.
D27.
Bamsha.
Okay.
In all the other charts, it's either in the Lagna or aspecting the Lagna. So 27 was, I think, the strength or happiness. I don't know.
Yes. So now this is an extraordinary thing, which, here we have to recall Sri Varamira's words, that if you are in a profession, that profession will be linked to a planet, and that planet becomes the most differently, so strong, very different kind of a graha in your chart, then you will have a totally different kind of life because you are such an expert in that. Maybe if he was a warrior, even maybe any other sport also, I think he could have done well. But this game is typical war, though it's played in the mind.
Did we check for Saturn, Guruji, in those multi-chart page? Because even Saturn should be a very great indicator for such a powerful chart.
A very important fact is that such a planet became the Yogakaraka for the person also. So those are the advantages he has got. Becomes Yogakaraka.
Sir, I have here one doubt, sir. The Kujidosha that he is having, will that is that a plus point for his game, sir?
No, just changing the terminology, bringing in another name. But we are talking about Ruchaka Yoga, the warrior yoga. So in the context, if you say, what is Mars in the 7th?
For partners, it is not good.
Yeah, for marriage, it is not good. Because we know that Lord Rama had the same combination, right? And he had great problems with marriage.
But not for the playing partners. So in the play game. Okay.
No, this is a different kind of Mars. Only after we saw all the divisional charts, we came up, we understood this. So too many things.
So there was this one pattern that we found about philanthropy, about Jupiter. The same thing, we have to just insert the planet Mars instead of Jupiter, and all the charts are reflecting the Martian energy.
Correct. In your philanthropy video, you
yeah. So Mars is trying to stand out in all the charts.
Stand out. Correct.
And I think Sridevi ji asked about Mars in the 7th. Can we say that Kujodosha means dominating over your wife, and that's the reason why compatibility has to be checked, especially for Mars. We don't check for other planets. So here, Mars in the 7th, dominating over the opponents.
You can say death of the other person, death of the opposite. So you defeat everybody on the opposite side. Okay.
Yeah, dominating, and his opponents were actually scared of him, actually.
Yeah. Good.
So though there are afflictions on one side, on personal grounds, where he had a lot of problems with his motherland, because he was exiled from the US, he had a problem with his motherland. He had problem with ladies in general. He had problem with not getting married or not getting, into a relationship.
Not getting married and trouble in marriage and all that. This 12th Lord in 8th, non-sharing, which is what also led to his solitude. I don't want to share. Yeah. I want to be in a closed room and all that, which later led to exile, because Rahu and Ketu means exile, right? They are the exile grahas, being banished into, faraway places is Rahu and Ketu. So 12th Lord on that axis. So Mercury has its flip side also. Okay. So if you change the angle of viewing, Sun, Ketu, Rahu on that axis is bad for foreign countries also. So he had, I think, trouble, I think. So I think he went as far, I think maybe Japan, and something happened like deportation and tax evasion. I think the governments were looking up for him. Huge sums of money was evaded, right?
Yes, Guruji. He also spoke against the government, so that was the reason.
Spoke against, yeah. So that would be that Sun, Ketu, Rahu on 2-8 axis, along with Mercury. So except, I think if Rahu, Sun, Mercury, Ketu were not on 2-8 axis, he would have had a very balanced life, taking advantage of his victory and everything. But he somewhat messed it up, right? Because after winning the world title once, he has to appear again for the second. He put in some conditions, and the organizers could not fulfill it, and then he actually boycotted it, right? He didn't go for the match.
The downfall happened from 72, Guruji, 1972. Downwards from there, he was in a downfall, because I don't know if you look at the dashas, I think probably we can get some signal there.
No, that's what I posted in the chat. Interestingly, in his Moon and Mars dasha is when he went into seclusion.
Yeah, Moon started 71.
No, 72 he won the world championship. WRH.
After that,
After that, he went
I
into
think,
seclusion for 20 years.
That's a very interesting point now. You
Yeah.
look at when he won the world championship, which is the turning point of the whole world of chess, including himself, is Moon Mars. In the Dasha of Moon, in the Antardasha of Mars, he won the world championship. That's enough. As far as we are concerned, case dismissed. We don't care about what happened later. You understand what I'm trying to say?
So that was the height of his.
That is the height. And that, our discussion, somebody pointed out, even from the Moon, Mars is in Ruchaka Yoga, or even from Lagna, it is like 2 times. And then you see the same mix in the Dasha and Antardasha made him the world champion, the unforgettable event of chess. Taking the crown from Russia and coming back. Right?
What was the Dasha at the time of his death, Guruji?
Jupiter.
Jupiter.
I mean, his 12th lord is in the 8th, so it's medium lifespan.
See, another way of looking at Moon Mars is when the Dasha happens, that will become Lagna. Like Lagna, right? Moon, when you are going through Moon Mahadasha. Then from such a moon, Mars is again in Ruchaka Yoga. So even according to Parashari normal Dasha Antardasha reading, I think you will get only wonderful statements. Very nice. Now we can go to, I think death we already covered, right? Guru. But I honestly feel that all the major damage to the kidneys was done in Rahu itself. Okay.
Sir, Rahu is in Gandanta, sir. Maybe it may help.
Rahu is in Gandanta. Yes, correct. 052, right? What is that? Rakshasamsa. Goramsa and Rakshasamsa. Second one. But Kishorji, you must give importance to the flip side of the horoscope, because I don't think you're going to come across a world champion of his level having messed up everything, right? What do you think?
Yes, Guruji. So this is like, a balancing act where he suffers on one part of his life, but the other things become extraordinary. And that usually is the case with the most famous men.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we can try to, one day put everybody's chart together where they, in spite of greatness they have achieved, they messed up. Okay. So we'll try to find a pattern.
The pattern is also repeating from the Chandra Lagna, Guruji.
The mess up.
Yeah. Jupiter in the 3rd house, Saturn in the 2nd, and Rahu in the 5th from Chandra Lagna.
Okay. That is also another point. Why childlessness and so on, right? Oh, somebody wants coffee.
Sir, the pair of solar eclipse and lunar eclipse was ended
over
on
his 2/8 axis.
20 Feb, both are ended, and he was born on 3rd March. What 9th March.
Oh, eclipse. But this unmarried thing, the highest incidence is for people having the 12th lord in the 8th. Even 3 days back, I had seen a chart, 12th lord in the 8th. Last week, I had 3 readings. 12th lord in the 8th, no marriage.
Mercury is Dharakaraka also, sir.
Oh, Mercury is Dharakaraka. We missed that. Correct. Moreover, Mercury is Dharakaraka as well. Yeah, I think kind of hatred to the concept of women. I mean, he wasn't gay also, but he had no interest in any of these things. His life is only the game. He was, all the time playing. Maybe he's angry with the world and he was trying to.
Do we have the Bhava chart, Guruji?
Yeah, I think the planets are all staying in the same place. Though I thought Venus and Jupiter would have moved. I thought, but I think it is not. So this is the Ecolos. Jupiter hangs on to the 12th. That shows why his father separated. 9th Lord and the 12th. You remember in many of the times I said 9th Lord and the 12th, his father goes away. Venus also stays there.
Surprisingly, Sun goes to the 9th.
Yeah, Sun goes to the 9th. Leaving only Mercury, Ketu and Rahu. This Mercury, Ketu, Rahu on that axis explains his problem abroad also. Passport problem, deportation, all of that. Was he jailed?
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah, he was jailed also. Yes.
Oh. Second Lord in the 9th. Can we read it from the house chart, Guruji? The Bhava chart.
Second Lord in 9th.
Yeah, will that be a recommendation for higher learning and more wealth?
Yes.
And all that.
To a good extent, yes.
Second house is afflicted, but the second Lord is in the 9th. Almost reaching the happiness point, exaltation point.
Yeah,
Along
it's
with
learning.
Venus, yeah.
It's learning. He was learning by himself, right? So that's a special kind of learning ability. Without teachers, you sit down and break your head and figure out a lot of things. So maybe Parashara says, learning. 9th house is higher learning. So I think the Venus gave him all the luck that to get started on this journey. But the climax was the Moon-Mars period. He became the world champion, is the unforgettable, part of his horoscope. Okay. At the death time, if you go to Pratyantar, what could have been the Pratyantar in Guru?
Can we bet on Venus, Guruji?
Okay, all of you type out what could have been the Pratyantar, because Jupiter is the death dasha. So what could have been any planet? Idea? Pratyantar.
We can see the 27th Trakana and the 64th round.
No, that already I think we answered that, right? Because somebody said Drekana in the 22nd Drekana, right? In the 22nd Drekana, Jupiter is. And it became the 64th Navamsha. So we got enough reasons for Jupiter. But what I'm trying to say is Jupiter we got, but the Pratyantar, what could it have been? Because I fed in the exact date of death.
Maybe Saturn, sir. 7th
Okay,
Lord.
please type out the answer. With that, we'll end the discussion. Please type. I'll give 1 minute. Just guess, all of you, wild guess.
Saturn number 8 day.
I don't know. I'm going to even, because this idea came suddenly to me. Why it's only Jupiter. But Jupiter has got enough reasons. Okay. One, the 12th house is a Maraka when you are on the, once you cross 60 years, the 12th house also will become termination house, going away. I'm going to click this. I hope by now some of you must have entered something in the chat. Well, I don't know. I can't guess. Sometimes Jupiter is enough, we say.
Should be Moon, actually, maybe.
You think Moon?
Lagna Lord.
Wait.
Yeah, it is Moon. I checked.
You think it's Moon?
I already checked, Guruji.
Oh, I see. Oh, you got it as moon. Why was moon involved? Okay. Maybe it was good
Lagna
for
Lord. Lagna Lord.
Yeah, very surprising.
Maybe we need to do some BTR, Guruji, birth time rectification.
Possible.
Lagna Lord usually, I'm not sure.
No, at Pratyantar, you don't have to give so much of, what I'm saying is Dasha and Antardasha is enough. Okay. Jupiter is fully qualified based on the 22nd, that's a very important rule in astrology. The 64th Navamsa and 22nd Rekana is something very important. Karesh, the name given to the what is the source of what is the reason for death? Was it kidney?
I think it was liver, I'm not sure.
It says kidney failure, Guruji.
Failure, okay.
Kidney failure.
Okay. My first case study that impressed me about this Rahu Ketu afflicting the 8th house is actually kidney, the water. In the Kala Purusha, it is a typical kidney, but I think it almost covers 7 and 8. But 8th house Rahu Ketu alone, the incidence of kidney failure is very high. In 1994, I met a guy, 23-year-old, Rahu Ketu 2-8. As soon as Rahu came, the kidney failed. So shocking. So ever since I've been always keeping an eye on this Rahu Ketu on 2-8 axis. It comes because of poisoning people or poisoning animals. So the poison comes back and destroys the kidney. So whenever you see people having this Rahu Ketu on 2-8 axis, ask them to donate as much sattvic food to the, generally give food to people, to the hungry, both birds, animals, and anything that is hungry. The source of life, opposite to poison. Telltale signs are they themselves will drink a lot, they'll smoke a lot, they'll do drugs a lot. They'll try to put the poison into their mouth.
Guruji, if they move in the Bhava chart, will the intensity reduce?
Yeah. See, it all depends on how much it moved into the Bhava. As much as it moves deeper and deeper towards the other house, definitely you can trust it. Because why a person takes birth at a particular time is to adjust the Bhava position, even within the same Lagna. So the moment it is not in 2-8, we should just ignore whatever we said just now. It only works with 2-8. But I think this 2-8 thing alone may not be enough. But in this case, we saw Mercury also hanging on the same place. Okay. So maybe it is more to do with that. And looking at his isolation mentality, I want to be alone. I don't want to be with people. All that. I think it is definitely the 12th Lord in the 8th adding fuel to this problem.
Guruji, I came across a pregnant woman's chart who has 2-8, Ragu Ketu in 2-8. And Ragu period is coming up and she is due to deliver in Ragu period. Will that in any way cause complications, or is that how we interpret it, or how do we look at it, Guruji?
So pardon me, Varman, can you repeat what? Because I was reading something somebody had typed. Sorry.
Yeah. So I came across a chart, woman who's pregnant.
Okay.
And she's coming up with the Ragu sub-period, and the Ragu Ketu is in 2-8 axis.
Oh.
So do we, can we interpret it saying due to this pregnancy, she will face a risk, or?
Yeah, there'll be complexities while during the birth, what do you call that? The birth process.
Birth process.
Amniotic fluid problem, umbilical cord, going around, something like that. Some complexities will be there.
Okay. But it's difficult to determine if it will be a successful.
Only if you see the entire chart, we can say.
Okay.
Okay, so we will.
Sir, I have here one point, sir. Whether it will whether it is a good point or not, I want to know. Moon is in the Ketu Nakshatra, sir, the Ashwini.
Yeah, I saw that. I
Lagna
noticed. Yeah. As soon as I saw Moon Pratyanta, I saw it is in Ketu Nakshatra. Okay. And so it is again on 2-8 axis, the kidney problem related.
Yes.
But since we praised the moon so much from some other angles, I was not, I didn't quote that. I saw it is in Ashwini, right? It is at 7 degrees, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. I think we had a good discussion. But I think only thing is not so much of typing going on. I think more you should participate more. Good. So let's end the meeting. So we'll see you again next week.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji. We'll keep a watch out for Mars, Guruji, for chess players.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.